everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. Today is August 2nd, so August 1st was yesterday, obviously, and I spent the day with some of my demonstrator friends. If you are a demonstrator and you're coming to Indianapolis for on stage in November, we're having an event, and then we're having a team event. We're having an event for all demonstrators on Friday before the event, and then after on Sunday for our teams. So we have a Facebook page for that, but that's where I was yesterday. And in Stampin' Up! World, all of our news usually comes on a Tuesday, so we knew that stuff was coming. So I will have posted, by the time this video is up, if you're on my email, you'll have the August thank you gifts. You'll have the new link to the new Sale-A-Bration items and all of the things. But I didn't want to film a video over the weekend when I was still unsure about a couple of things. One, the tree lot dies have sold out, and the note cards and envelopes, which sold out a long time ago, those are still gone. You may have seen over the weekend that it looked like the Rings of Love and the Wonderful World were not available, but they are. They were just waiting on a shipment. I think it arrived to Stampin' Up! Yesterday. So I decided to move all of my Let's Start August on the 2nd. So let's start August. Obviously, there are more ways to, or more things that you can get in Sale-A-Bration. I have made things with all of this, but what happens... Two things. What happens is I have so many cards, and I felt like I was giving them away, and I did give them away. So some of the things that I have on here that I know I've used, you have them. Because maybe a year ago, I started using my cards as thank you cards and not always making cards, because I have an abundance of cards. But the other thing was when I went to go try to find the things that I've made with these, and I did locate a few, I went into my storage room and I have boxes of cards. So one of my August kickoff of the month of August, which normally I don't do a kickoff, but if you order this first few days, you're going to get like 8 cards in with your thank you stuff, because I just want to be rid of them. And they're a couple of years old, but they're all still beautiful. You can use them. You can use them for the ideas. But they were in with my retired stuff, and I thought that I had gone through most of those, but I have not. So we have some more Sale-A-Bration items. I don't have a color printer. I don't live in that world yet, partly because my husband's in IT and he doesn't believe in paying for ink. So there you go. But I'm going to show you some of the things that are now. This is free with 50, so the Timber 3D, you know I use that all the time. I'm going to use it on today's card. If you're in Card Club, you will get it this month on one of your projects. Both of these are old stamps. But one thing I like to do with the Timber that I'm not doing today is use it over my stamped images, because it just, especially if you're making a card for a guy, it just adds that timber effect to your projects. So the other thing is, over the course of the next few days on my website, I will start to post the links to these old videos where I know I've used these so you can see them. Some of this stuff obviously won't be current. Then we have the gingham embossing folder, and I know that I used it, and I know that I used it with the daffodil dies, but I must have sent that card out already. And I have 2 of all of them. So sometimes for me to have sent out all of them, I try to keep one until the stuff's no longer current. But obviously the daffodils had stuff. I mean, the gingham was on the daffodil paper, which was Sale-A-Bration a couple of celebrations ago. Then the next one is the Seashells 3D embossing folder. I have this one, and I think, except for the ribbon, which you could come up with some new ribbon, everything on this stamp set may be gone, but how many sentiments do we all own? So this is a beautiful embossing folder. It's perfect for summer, and it also is a hybrid. So if you want, you can get the embossing folder for free, and then you can get the dies that go along with it. So both of those cards I will post. Then we have Flowers of Home, a die set. Again, I will post things. I know I made wedding cards. I made a couple of different videos with that. I just don't have anything here. Then the dots and stripes, I'm kind of jumping around. This is brand new. So all of this is currently available, and I love this. So this video, so you can, oh look, it just pulled all the way up. It cuts dots. So it's called Dots and Spots. So it's a really fun die. It's just one large die and free with 50. No, but that was free with 100. And I think all the dies are free with 100. Then we have the metallic cardstocks one I'm using today. So I'm going to use the brush metallic, which are all shades of gold. And everything in this card is current except for the little embellishments. But you could substitute any kind of embellishment. It's a really, really pretty specialty paper, as is this silver foil specialty pack. So both of those are free. This is an old stamp, but you could again, and look, there's the timber. So I will post this video because these videos are always super popular. I had one with the Christmas trees, and on Pinterest, it's still like my #1 pin. But you can just lay the 3 different colors, and you could do the same thing in gold and then just run the timber through all of them together. But I'll post that link later this week too. And then, like I said, this stamp set is still in the catalog, so you could easily recreate that. Then we do have the daffodil dies, which this paper on neither of them is current. It cuts out the images in the daffodil set, but then it also has the daffodil builders. This was our club alternate card a couple of months ago, maybe just in the spring. And then this is when we had the daffodil paper, but you can see here where he built the little daffodil. I did make stuff with the craft gift boxes, and I just threw them out because if you have a space like mine and everything is falling over and squishy, the boxes that you make just for samples tend to get destroyed, and they're not great things for me to send to you because without anything in them, they also get flattened. So then the other thing is the Aspen tree dies. So that's what I'm going to use today. I'm going to use the Aspen tree dies, and I'm going to use the timber. And so if you're on my email list or go to my website, all of these new things are on there. Or if you're shopping on my website, they'll pop up. But you do need my email to get or go to my website to get the host code for this month, so you get my free gifts as well, because then you'll just have free stuff coming out your ears. So I am going to use the Aspen dies. They are part of the Perched in a Tree bundle. I did have it because it was one of the things that I thought that maybe I would use on my Christmas in July week, and then I didn't get to it. I love the Let Heaven and Nature Sing, and I have used that on another card because I love this. It's a very, very pretty stamp set. I love aspen trees. I love to go to Colorado and just stand in an aspen. There's a word. There's a word for an aspen something. Now I can't think of it. But they're so pretty. And here you can see they've kind of colored them like that. I'm not going to color it because I'm using the brushed gold paper. But I wanted to show you the stamp set. But I know sometimes you're like, well, I'm getting the free dies. I don't know if I want the stamp set. I'm not going to use the stamps. That way you can see them without. So if you chose not to get the stamp set, it does come with this, which I don't know that you would ever use that. You could probably use it and like put the sentiment on it from another stamp set. And then I'm not using the branch, but you can see it cuts out a branch. So while it cuts this out, it does cut out its own branch, which you could use. And I could have put it on this card, except I have a lot going on this card already. It comes together very quickly. I had to make a quick one so I could get all of that speaking in for you. So let's roll this over first. And let's do the timber because that's what I did last. So it's sitting here. So this is Pale Papaya. And like I said, love, 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 love the timber. If you don't have it, then getting it for free is fabulous. So just get it for free. So I have Pale Papaya. This card was designed because I have the brushed metallic. I wanted to use it. And then the rest of the stuff was kind of laying on my table. Because I want to get a lot done today. And you know, when you want to get a lot done, you just got to get going. So see, super pretty. This is a must-have. I mean, and I think it's made it when I talk about, you know, top 10 things to get, that this is often on it. So we got that. Then let's do our dies. So when you use any foil and you put it through your cut and emboss machine, you don't want the top one to look like this. I used to have one and it said foils only, and people thought I wrote that for myself. It was, you know, pre 2020 when we used to do lots of in-home events, because the less cuts on this, then the less it will press into your paper. Because if it's super cut up your plate, then it's gonna put that inside of your paper, and you don't want that. So the brushed metallic, this one has like lines brushed in it, and you probably won't be able to see it much on camera. It's also very cloudy here today, so it's not a great day to film, but I don't have time to wait until the sun comes out, which I think it will later. Sometimes I have time to wait for better weather to film. Not always. So you can see it cuts out like this. If you are in Card Club, this also will be coming in one of your projects. So they just pop out. I'll pop those out in a second. Super easy, but I'm sitting in a very awkward position where I put the machine today. I'm just gonna flip this over. And then I'm gonna use the other dies. So there is, you heard the other two colors in the brushed metallic. And then I have some shimmer white. So I'm gonna do the big leaf. Now these cut and emboss the leaves and the flowers. So on the brushed metallic, you lose a little bit, not terribly on this one. You can kind of still see it in the leaves. If your die embosses a lot, sometimes on the brushed things, you don't see it because it obviously presses it out. But this one stayed pretty well. Because I was tempted to use the distressed gold, because if you follow my channel, you know that's my current obsession of paper. But again, you want to get this, isn't that beautiful? So you want that in your paper, and on the distressed gold, you're not going to get as much of that. So we have that one, then we have this one, and then we have these flowers. I want this to have the colors of fall on it, and right now there's not a whole lot of colors on here. My first part I've done on soft suede. I may switch it to espresso because, like I said, it was a thing of laying on my table. So I just want to get a little bit of color on here, and I wanted to do it quickly, but I still wanted to have a little feeling of art to it. So I'm going to take my pale papaya so it will match the back. And then I know that you all know that I am a huge fan of bone folders. You don't get to see this one very often. This is one that I use on my ink pads. It does stain on these dark colors. It's clean though, so you just wipe it off. But I have this one, and I also use it when I put ink refill in my pad. So while I have, and some of these are now starting to look like where they could get that. I have 4. 3 of them have beautiful charms, and then this one is the one that I just pull when I'm doing ink. So just kind of lay this on there and smudge some ink. So we have the papaya, and this is obviously going to be darker than my other one because I'm talking. I didn't mean to press so hard. Get a little bit of pumpkin, and not in the same spots, or as much as you can avoid. But there we go, we get that color of fall. And then let's get some cherry cobbler. And you could do whatever colors. I was tempted to put a little bit of yellow in, but there wasn't one on my table. I went with colors that were laying here. So see, you don't always have to have everything. So this one I'm not going to lay on here so it doesn't get everywhere. So we have that. It's pretty just like that, but just for a little bit more, you know how fall just has that. I love colors of fall. So I have my water painter, and it just has the, you know, fall colors. They just kind of bleed into each other. So I'm just going to take this. It's just water. You could use a paintbrush if you don't have a water painter. So just kind of blend that on there. You don't want to get it super wet because while this is shimmer white and it does have a coating, if it gets too wet, it will start to, your paper will pill. So I'm just kind of letting the water come out and just kind of smudging it on there. Plus it gets away the ink pad lines. Isn't that pretty? And how easy was that? Then I'm going to take this, because I've already got this out, and then just get some cherry cobbler ink. I probably need a little bit more, so just press your ink pad down. And then I'm going to squish my water in here. And it kind of has all of those colors that it just got. Take my very dirty bone folder and just tap it on here. Now, I do this a lot with blends, which is the reason my other bone folder looks that way. But this is just another way. Now, this is got most of the ink off of it, but because we used that dark cherry cobbler especially, just take a wet wipe. And again, it's stained, but it's clean. So you can see once it starts to wipe clean, then it's clean. I have a bad habit of leaving my wet wipes open, and so the top one's always half dry. So part of that's dry, so that's good. Now let's just put this together. Like I said, I did soft suede on the other one. I'm going to see what it looks like. I think I'll just switch it up. I have also reversed the colors of the brushed gold because I don't have very much of it. And so I need to get some free when I put in my order today, because there's some pre-order stuff for demonstrators. I also have my online retreat for September. Registration's going to open. And those of you, I know there were a huge amounts of you, I didn't intend for, well, I'm always glad when I have a series and it's super popular, but the Art of Stamping, it's going to be an Art of Stamping retreat. So it'll be online. And registration for that will go up soon. So I was kind of waiting to see, like I said, Tuesdays are our announcement days. And I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything else big they were hitting us with before I figured out exactly what's going to be in my retreat. So I'm going to take my dimensionals. So make sure you're on my email list, and then you'll find ways to sign up for that. It is for, if you get a mailed packet, you have to be in the US. That's one of my most popular questions now, is if you can do this if you live overseas. Stampin' Up! Doesn't allow us to sell product cross-market. But I can tell you the tutorial, so you could do the online portion of it only. So this is cut 4 by 5 1/4, and then the one underneath it is just a smudge different. And I did the exact same thing I did on my other one, where I left a little bit of that there. So if you do that, I was afraid if I cut it too small, then it would be too hard to line up. And I'm just used to always cutting that size. So just take your scissors, and where this is sticking out right there, just trim it off. In fact, it doesn't even have to be straight. There, that's better. Then I have, this is the ribbon. Oh, I meant to look. It's in the, it comes with olive color as well. And I meant to look, it's in the holiday catalog. I can't even think of which suite it's in. Just kind of pull that like that. I want to leave that knot. I've done this on a couple of cards recently. I'm going to move this one a little bit further down than I had it on my first one. That's the nice thing when you get to make 2 cards, is you can always change it a little bit. So I'm going to go down here and just hold that knot in place. But I don't want to pull it tight, because I like it to have that nice knotty look. And if you pull it too tight, then it just looks like it's got a knot in it instead of a pretty knot. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right here on the sides. Just a little bit. So it kind of holds it in place here. And then flip this over. And first we'll get this on. We'll make sure this is all, I didn't do that very evenly, did I? That looks good. So now our adhesive is going to go on the papaya piece. Now remember, if you are using Seal Plus on especially the timber, it pulls up. So I would always use seal or glue if you're going to do that. So let's put this on the espresso, and then you can see which one you like better. But this is also a darker gold. I used a lighter gold on my other one. So now I can put these, I wanted them to go this way, and I couldn't on my other one because I put the ribbon too high, and it was all stuck together like this. So let's put that one there, because I wanted it to be a little bit more of a grouping of flowers than what I got on my other one. So these are still a tad bit damp, so be careful if you do it when they're a tad bit damp, because you don't want to tear them. This is more what I saw the first time, and then I'm just going to take this one on a dimensional. But I had to completely reposition everything unless I tried to pull it apart, and I want to get this email out to you guys, so that didn't happen. There, that's more what I wanted. And I do like it on both colors. And then for my embellishments, I went with, look how many I have, because I have tons of this color. These are from the Candy Cane suite. So not a suite that you might think that you would put. I have more of this coming today because I've used mine all the way up. And I try to keep, these are like $3, and I try to keep several of them handy. But then I feel like I buy a bunch, and then next thing you know, I need more. So I'll put one here. My other one, I put 7. I don't know if I'm going to put 7 on this one, because my placement was not great for 5. So we'll just kind of add, there's 3. And this is sorbet, soft sorbet. And we don't have that color anywhere in here, but because those blended, I think I'm going to stop with 5 on this one. Isn't that pretty? Super easy. 2 free things. So if you spend $100 and you don't have the Aspen dies or the timber, you could get them both for free. Here it is. You can see this. I just didn't like the way this went, and I didn't want that on top. So it wasn't the placement that I really wanted. A soft suede, and then these colors are reversed. because like I said, I don't have hardly any of this paper at the moment. So I had to work with what I had. I do like that on this better. I thought I would like this better, so I saved it for you guys to see. So there you go. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be back tomorrow with my first project for Card Club for August. If you are interested in joining my Card Club, then that information will it's always on my website, but it will be in tomorrow's email. Everybody have a great one. Bye.